George Clements, and I'm an old man with a boat. Just to quantify what it means when I say an old man, right? Because there's going to be people out there look at me and say, he's fat, but I'm not sure, and bald, but I'm not sure he's old. Well, if you're old enough to move into a retirement community, then that's what I'm going to use as the qualifier. And sadly, I exceed that threshold, so I'm old. Like it, dislike, that doesn't really matter. That's what I'm going with. To give you a little background, I have 4 children. 2 are college graduates. 2 are currently in college. I'm proud of them. I'm proud of everything they do. They work hard and they're succeeding in life. And as a father, that's really all you can ask for. I'm also a veteran. I was in the U.S. Air Force for 9 years. Since then, I transitioned over to become a defense contractor. And I've been doing that for the last 30 years. As a defense contractor, it's enabled me to travel to many different places in the world, see many different and experience many different cultures, put things into perspective when I come back home. And you know, I guess you could say it helped shape me into the man I am today. I still work full time, not retired yet. I won't retire for probably another seven years or so. But with that said, that's my background. So why buy a boat, right? How did I get into the position of buying a boat? Well, the decision came about one evening when I was talking to my wife and she was asking me about our future. You know, what are we going to do? What are we going to do when I retire? What are my goals? What are my aspirations? You know, where do we see our life in 5 years, 7 years? So anyway, we had this discussion and I was like, you know, I want to retire. I want a boat. I want to get a bass boat. I want to go bass fishing. Something I've wanted to do since I was 18. That's what I'm going to do when I retire. That and probably pick up golfing again. My shoulders are shot, so probably just stick with bass fishing for now. Anyway, I asked her, you know, what would you like? And she said, well, you know, I want a house like this and that, and I want to travel and you know, all of her aspirations. We discussed those as well. And I'm like, okay, so you know, we kind of got a plan forward. When I retire, we're going to do this and do that and travel and da 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 da, right? And then she looked at me and she said, well, why aren't we living today? I said, what are you talking about? We are living today. And she goes, well, I look in the garage, I don't see a boat. I don't see you. We're not traveling anywhere. And I certainly don't see you going fishing all the time. So explain to me, this is something you want to do when you retire. So, but for the next, say 7 years, we're not doing any of those things. And I was like, whoa. You know, kind of slapped me in the face. I'm like, well, I do want to do those things, but you know, now is not the time, because now is the time where as a father, I got to provide security for my family. I have to save money. I've got to do all of these things that we all do, right? And she goes, no, I get that. And you're doing that and you've done that. She goes, but sometimes it's okay for you to chase your dreams, to do your things that you want to do, which kind of drove me to the decision to, okay, I'm going to pursue buying a boat. So before I bought a boat, after I made the decision, I should say, I'm going to buy a boat, I spent probably a good year going back and forth about what boat do I buy, right? As you can see behind me, I settled on a Vexus 1980, AVX 1980. But why did I get this boat? What made me get that boat? And what was the process? So researching was the big thing. So I started, you know, I've never owned a boat before. So I don't know what are my needs? What do I need? You know, well, I want some space. I want some comfort. I want a little bit of speed. Don't necessarily need to go 70 miles an hour on the water, but I certainly don't want to do 30 either, right? So, you know, I kind of just looked at my needs, my desires, my wants, and and started to just funnel down, right? Started funneling down. Um, I came across Vexus. I liked Vexus. I ended up going down that road. Now, why the AVX versus the VX? It's my first boat. My first car was a 1975 Ford Pinto. My first car was not a Mercedes Benz, right? So my first boat is not going to be a VX, or any fiberglass for that matter. Absolutely nothing wrong with owning a fiberglass boat, but I know myself, and I would probably do something that would break my heart within the first month. Now, with an aluminum boat, I think it gives me a little bit more opportunity to ease those pains of doing the stupid things that I have, in fact, done on this boat. So that's why I went with the aluminum. That's why I went with the AVX versus the VX. It was a pretty neat process. I had never ordered a boat before. I was kind of surprised at the weight. I was kind of surprised at the whole boat ordering process. I figured I'd go to the dealership. I went to shout out to Toho Marine, and Dave in particular was my salesman, and it was great. He explained everything to me, and took my deposit and was like, okay, I'll put this boat on order. This is what we're getting, blah blah blah. And I was really surprised because weeks turned into month, and then month turned into another month. I'm like, what in the hell is going on? Why don't I have anything? Why isn't the boat being built? Why isn't this? Why isn't that? I was just ignorant. I didn't know that the process, right? And the process is, you pay this money, you get put in a line, this invisible queue, of people, and then when it gets time to build your actual boat, that whole process is pretty quick. That's like the last, say, 2 weeks before you actually take ownership of the boat, So the whole time I'm thinking, as soon as I put the money down, there's some method of tracking this purchase and seeing the different stages of like building a house, right? You start seeing them build, the structure, the foundation, and and you get to see all that. Boat buying wasn't that way at all. So it was kind of a shock to me, but that's, like I said, shout out to Dave. He talked me through the process, calmed me down, and I just waited. And next thing I knew, I had a boat. But I got a phone call, and hey, George, come pick up your boat. But going back to the research, right? So researching opened me up to the world of YouTube. The world of YouTube. Wow. So I started with bass fishing, right? So what better place to learn about bass fishing than on YouTube? And let me tell you, there is a plethora of information out there about bass fishing, about every lure, about every season, about everything is out there. So as I went through these videos and learned more about bass fishing, it did help me. I mean, it helped me understand how I wanted to fish, where I was going to fish, and then what would be the best boat for me to use in fishing. They also have a ton of videos on boat ownership, right? So, what it takes to own the boat, and what do you have to do, and, maintenance of the boat, taking care of the boat, cleaning the boat. All of these things are invaluable. And I'll do some of those videos, and I'll share some of the things that I've picked up along the way through these guys, and I'll give shout outs when needed and tell you all about that. But I also came across, changing subjects, I came across Joe Rogan, right? I'd heard about it, never really watched any of his videos, and I watched a few. Some got on my nerves, some I thought were really entertaining, some I thought were really informative. But what I really liked is his method of just having a conversation, right? So I thought about when I was a kid and when I would go fishing with my father, those kind of free-flowing conversations were had, right? So when I developed this channel, that's what I have in mind. I want to have those kind of conversations, right? Not necessarily some hot topic, but just normal conversation, sharing information, mentorship, providing guidance, all of those things. When I'm on the boat with my friends, we talk about everything from, VA claims to finances to investments to, putting in pools to, mowing the lawn to whatever it may be, right? To your kids graduating college, going to college, buying their first car, or struggling with it, all of these things. I want to have those conversations. I want to share that with you. I want it to be different. I want it to be open. I want it to be honest. I don't want it to be a perspective of, somebody is paying me to sell their product. I'm not endorsed by anybody. This is just me telling you my opinion, right? And the reasons why I have this opinion. You can agree, disagree. We can have those discussions. But I think the world's a better place if we can exchange knowledge with each other, share knowledge, and have a good time doing it. And what better place to do that but then on a boat? So as I move forward in my channel and I get better at editing and filming and talking to a camera, I want to share my experiences with you. I want to share my knowledge. I want to hopefully help others. More importantly, I want to show you that you're not alone, right? So that when you have a nice boat, you have a nice rod, you have the newest lure, you have Mega Live, Mega 360, you have all of these wonderful tools, and yet you can't catch a damn thing. I want you to know you're not alone, right? So I'm not going to just sit here and post pictures of me taking and pulling in some mammoth bass. I will if I do. If I catch them, I will certainly share. But I want you to see what it takes, what it's like, just what a normal fisherman goes through. I want you to see the 50 casts where I didn't catch a damn thing. I want to see the cast where I hit a tree and busted my lure, or, the nonsense, what happens when you're on the water and all of a sudden you got bubble guts and you got to rush in. Those are the kind of things that are real. That's real life. What do you do, And anyway, those are not necessarily bubble guts, but those are things I'm going to share on this channel. I want it to be authentic. I want it to be real, and hopefully you enjoy it. And we laugh at each other. We make fun of each other. Life's too serious, when I'm on the boat and with my friends, and we just, talk smack back and forth and have a good time doing it. And in the end, it's, it's a nice time. And I hope that comes across that way. But that's the channel I'm putting out, and I hope you enjoy it. And I look forward to a long future with YouTube and putting these videos out. My next video is going to be a walk around on my boat. So I can show you exactly what I have, and then just take you through a quick walk around. I'm not going to do 30 minutes worth of, you've already seen all the compartments and everything, but I'll show you what I have. And then my next video after that is going to be one that I've had this boat for 3 years, and I want to tell you about, what's good, what's bad, things I like, dislike. If I had to do it all over again, would I take the same path I took? So I'm going to go through that. More importantly, I'm going to go through some things that I wish I had thought about, or wish I had been told, or wish I had come across as I made these modifications and stuff to my boat. But anyway, thanks for joining me. I look forward to seeing you next time. Stay safe.